historically, there was a turning point where men began to say, well, if men are going to be accused of being lewd, rude, and crude, well, those are not negative features, those are normative features.
Oh, wow.
And so they began to adopt those features and say, well, this is just who men are.
Nope, there you have it.
Yep. Exactly. And
yeah.
This is just who we are. And that the quotes that I just mentioned, for example, flesh obsessed pigs, that's coming from the perspective of, well, this is just who men are. Yeah. And I think it's extremely dangerous because if you tell people long enough, one message, they will tend to live up or down to the expectations placed on them. And so I take people back again and again in my book to the cultural mandate. And about half of my students don't even know what that means. So the cultural mandate is Genesis, where God's created the universe and the animals and the plants. And then he finally creates, the acme, the height of his creation is the first human,
right?
First human couple. And the first thing he says to them is why he created them. Be fruitful and multiply and subdue the earth.
Yes.
And the language of Genesis is so streamlined that you can unpack that.
Yes.
So be fruitful and multiply doesn't mean just the immediate family, but of course, historically, all the social institutions grow out of the family. The extended family becomes a tribe, becomes a village, becomes a state, a nation, and so on. And specific social institutions are founded for certain purposes. That you need a church, you need a school, you need a marketplace, you need a state. Mm-hmm. So it really encompasses building all of the social institutions. And subdue the earth means harness the natural resources. So of course, most cultures start with agriculture, but you go to mining, you go to technology, you go to inventing computers, you go to composing music. One of my students said, oh, come on, composing music. And I said, I play the violin. What's the violin made out of? Wood. What's the bow made out of? Horsehair. Oh. So all the transcendent beauty that we associate with music does start with harnessing the natural resources, the forces of nature. So that is sometimes called the cultural mandate because it says that before the fall, right? Pre-fall, when God was giving us instructions on why he created humans, what was their purpose? Yes. It was to create cultures. It was to create civilizations. It was to create history. And so men do find their greatest fulfillment, not riding off into the sunset like a Lone Ranger, but to rolling up their sleeves and getting deeply invested in their family to start with, but also other social institutions and creative and productive work that serve other people, and that benefits mankind.
Well, and purpose, it's as you said, it's sewn into us. It's to multiply his image, right? In so many ways, if you think about it, it before we chose to eat that fruit, we just walked and talked with him in the garden. I mean, how amazing was that? So our mandate was pretty easy to understand because we were in harmony with one another and understanding what that expectation looks like.